I don't know, Joe.
It'd be right.
It would probably be right, yeah.
Right.
Who knows? Who knows? Good afternoon, you wonderful human beings. Welcome back to the channel on a day that has some rare sunshine out the window. How bad was the drive down? Was it wet?
So the roads are relatively clear. There's a lot of roadworks on at the moment because of the flooding.
Yeah.
But the fields are all full flood.
They're fucked, aren't they?
Yeah.
Everywhere.
There's two ways I can come from Shaftesbury. There's one where I go around all the way towards Wilton and then come in that side. There's the one where I come in through the back of Salisbury via the hospital. But if I go that way, it's all low valley river road. It's mostly road with a river next to it. And I was like, I'm not driving down there.
It's just flooded shit.
Yeah,
the whole time.
I have to turn around anyway.
So Joe made it in, though. He's here for another Liam and Joe show. Obviously, we didn't have one on Tuesday because Lucy's birthday. We didn't have one on Thursday because I had a shareholder here. And yeah, it feels like it's been too long, Joe. I asked you guys at the end of last night's show, a hobby show or a chairs show, and most people voted chairs. I say most, actually. There was a majority, it just wasn't a high majority.
Yeah.
And then Cornet Ed came in right at the end of the show and gifted 5 memberships after I'd already put the end screen on, and he said chairs, and I was like, well, he's paid 5 members for it, so chairs it is.
Well, is that right? Next week, we just go back to normal, right?
Yeah, next week we'll be back to normal, yeah.
So,
I kind of wanted to do a hobby show, only because I've got a hobby that I want to make now. I've got things that I want to do. But, we're here.
I've got loads of Krieg. I haven't touched... I've built Krieg. I've not painted anything yet, but I have received an email yesterday.
Yeah.
From. I suppose I can say it. Tooth and Coats.
Can you say it? I don't know.
So obviously they've sponsored us in doing the dark art stuff, and I'm currently in works. They're gonna. I've sent them a list of paints I require for my Nina Krieg.
Right, okay.
So
you're asking Tooth and Coats to sponsor your Nina army?
So Tooth and Coats might be sponsoring my army.
Oh, that's nice.
So and obviously I'm going to be creating content and like pre-recorded and stuff like that for them. So I haven't paid anything yet. It's only built. I've got more stuff. Like Liam's got stuff to bring in for me to build and stuff. So it might be a little while before I paint anything, but building wise,
real life sometimes gets in the way, Joe. Anyway, so he's here for a Liam and Joe show. It isn't the hobby, it's chairs, because what you voted for. And as per usual, when it's a Liam and Joe show topic, what happens is Joe comes in and says, have you got anything you want to talk about? And I'm like, not really, no. Maybe. And he went, can we talk about points?
Yeah. And
then you gave me a very specific example as to why you want to talk about points.
Yeah,
you want to bring that one
mainly
up first?
because it really upset me when I played against Tom. But I have been thinking about it, right? And the disparity of how rules and points, I think the game currently is in one of its most balanced states in terms of how the game is played. But there are some very definite outliers. We know Games Workshop, when they put out a patch or a FAQ or an errata, they fix the broken things.
They do.
They don't make the bad things better.
Yeah.
Right?
Not often. Sometimes.
Yeah. And the win rates at the moment for Chaos Space Marines, I'm going to bang this drum because they are my favourite faction in all of Warhammer.
This week.
They are currently 3rd from the bottom. Right? Obviously, the bottom is Imperial Agents.
Of course.
I don't think we should even count them as a faction.
Which means that Chaos Space Marines are 2nd from bottom.
They're 2nd from bottom. Right? And do you know what's above them?
What?
Black Templars.
Oh, really?
So the two factions that I'm most enjoying playing.
2nd from bottom and bottom,
literally
essentially.
2nd from the bottom. I'm probably not helping with the win rates, but
they're all right until Joe started playing them.
But they're both not in a good spot. But Chaos Space Marine specifically and Abaddon, who is my favourite character in all of Warhammer, right, is 270 points, right? 270 points. For a model with 9 wounds, that's toughness 5, a 2-up save, and a 4-up in run. He does have a very good combat stat line of 8 attacks, strength 14, -4, flat 3 damage, dev wounds. You can give him sustained. He can give himself reroll hits. So he hits like an absolute train, right? But like someone who has a very similar combat profile to him is a space wolf, right? In the form of Logan Grimnar, right? He's got less wounds, but it is toughness 5, 2 up, 4 up, 6 wounds. I think he's got 6 attacks that are damage 3.
He's 8 wounds.
It's 8 wounds
Because he's got his 2 wolves, so he's 6 plus the 2 wolves.
Oh, so he's actually got 1 less wound.
1 less wound.
1 less wound. So he's got 1 less wound, 2 less attacks, slightly lower strength, but still high AP. He is 110 points.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
110 points.
But he does. But I mean,
to
get up to Abaddon, you'd have to add him to his unit of Terminators.
Of 5 Terminators.
Yeah.
So 5 Wolfguard Terminators and Logan is 275 points. So they're the exact same points, right? Excluding detachment, army rules, Abaddon has access to sustained or lethal hits, right? And he give himself reroll hits, right? Logan, and he is 9 wounds, 270 points. Logan Grimnar and 5 Wolfguard Terminators are 28 wounds at toughness 5, 2 up, 4 up, -1 to be wounded, and Aura of Deceit, and has access to 4 rerolls to hit from Oath, which is just their army roll, not including detachment.
And they could deep strike turn 1.
And they could deep strike turn 1.
Because Logan.
Right? Because of Logan. And
yeah, they're not all made equally, are they?
These two things are not the same.
No,
right?
they're not the same.
Carlos Price says Abaddon is 30 points less than the Catan. Those things are not the same.
No.
Right? And I was like, who at Games Workshop specifically hates chaos? Right?
Well, it's not just chaos, is it? Because what's the meme on the channel for the longest time?
Field Marshal Dreer.
Field Marshal Dreer.
All things are balanced against Field Marshal Dreer.
Right, exactly.
Right?
So are we saying that Abaddon is 2.7 times as powerful as Field Marshal Dreer?
Right? Is Logan Grimnar 10 points more efficient than Field Marshal Dreer?
Yeah. Well, Dawn of War just said, how is Logan Grimnar 40 points cheaper than Lucius? I'm just going to check this. Because that's fucking mental if it is. Because Logan Grimnar's a fucking baller in terms of what he offers.
Super ready. They're 2 + 4 + 3 wounds each. How is that becomes like they haven't got 3 wounds. They've got 4 wounds. Wolfguard Terminators because they have a shield.
No, so he's talking about the unit that can go with Abaddon.
Yeah.
They're 2 up, 4 up, 3 wounds because Wolfguard are actually 4
and
wounds.
They're 180 points.
Yeah,
for those Terminators, right? When they Dark Pact, they get reroll hits, which Abaddon gives them already, so they don't even need it. They don't have a -1 to be wounded, right?
So I can confirm
wild.
Logan is in fact 110.
Yeah,
and Lucius is in fact 150. What the fuck?
Right. Lucius is damage 3, so Lucius has the same problem Abaddon does, where Abaddon might kill 2 Wolfguard Terminators, right? Lucius will struggle to kill 1.5.
Yeah, but Lucius precisions out Logan, surely that's his job.
But he's only got 6 attacks. He does reroll all hit and wound, right? But he is -1 to wound, so he's actually wounding on 4s, not 3s. Right, so... And then Logan's got 8 wounds, so you have to have 3 of those 6 attacks go through. He's got 4 up invuln.
Yeah, mathematically
he's not killing Logan.
It's not, is he? Mathematically.
Right? Abaddon could precision out Logan, but it will cost him 2 CP to do it.
Yes.
He gets rerolls to hit, but he doesn't get rerolls to wound. But he is wounding on 3s, not 2s.
Yeah.
6s are dev. So he could, if he rolls 3 6s, he just straight kills him. But that's if he rolls 3 6s.
It's
And we see this a lot in the game, I think now, where like the stuff that is like that there's a lot of stuff that's way too many points for what it should be. And my question is really to the game and the world as it is, should things be cheaper or more points? Should we have more on the table or less?
I think less. In my gut. My gut says less.
Yeah.
My gut says that over the years, army size has crept up and up and up.
Yeah.
And of course, I think from Games Workshop's perspective, that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you have to buy more plastic to get it on the table, well, logically, that's more money for them. So having people have slightly bigger armies at 2,000 points kind of makes sense. But I think we've hit a critical mass stage. I think we're at a point where, in my opinion, and I'd love to know what you guys think, chat. Please feel free to stick it on postcards. But in my opinion, 2,000 points of sort of bog standard Space Marines for now feels like far too many models. And it also means that for certain matchups, if someone manages to get the Alpha Strike off, they're like, cool, I've lost half my army because you've got so much stuff that's shooting at me. I've lost half my army and I've not been able to turn.
And I have this problem at the moment where I've been looking a lot at Chaos Space Marines at the moment, and I do think it's a substandard codex in an edition of Killers.
Yes,
right?
Agree.
And obviously, I've taken the two worst armies in the game, not including Ages of the Imperium. We don't look at those, right? The two elite units in Chaos Space Marines and Black Templars, I think, are both comparatively the same, but ultimately very different. Both massively overcosted, and that's right. So I'll explain to you, right. So Sword Brethren, right? These are the two best units in the two worst armies, right? So 10 Sword Brethren is 260 points.
Fucking hell, is it?
10 points less than Abaddon for 30 wounds, right? Right. Toughness 4, 3 up save, 3 wounds, right? So that's 30 wounds, right? And they all have, we'll go with their main loadout, a Mastercrafted power weapon. So it's 3 attacks, so 30 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 5, AP 2, damage 2. You know, that stat line that's everywhere. All have lethal hits, right? And as an army rule, you could give them all +1 to wound as well. If your strength is equal to of higher. So if you're hitting a toughness 5 thing, you wound it on 3s, not 4s.
Logan is insanely cheap.
Right.
P3Z.
Right. So
insanely cheap.
So they are 260 points for toughness 4, 3 wound, 3 up save. Right.
Right.
Chosen are 250 points. They're 10 points less. Right.
And Abaddon can lead Chosen, can't he?
He can lead Chosen.
So you could have an over 500 point unit if you wanted.
Yeah. Right. Toughness 4, 3, but Abaddon could give them a 4-up in run. Right. But then they don't reroll hits. But anyway, Chosen all have a power sword, which is one attack more than the Sword Brethren, but that hits on 3s, not 2s. It's strength 5, the same, AP 2, the same, all damage 1.
Now,
and they ain't killing shit.
I don't want to hate on the chaos damage profiles.
Yeah.
For a reason that I'll go into in just a second, but I feel like Chaos Space, and I used to be a Chaos Space Marine player years ago.
Yeah.
I was a Chaos Space Marine player as one of my main armies, and I had a unit of Plague Marines and a unit when it was by the fucking resin upgrades for the normal kits, and I had a unit of the old Berserkers and a unit of the old Rubrics and all that kind of stuff. Then Khorne Demon King came out, and I fell hard for Khorne Demon King. Then I became a World Eaters player. That was what I wanted, which originally was still Chaos Space Marines, but World Eaters flavour, right? And then obviously, last edition, World Eaters got their own book. They now become their own faction, and I kind of came away from Chaos Space Marines. At the same time, I started working with Joe, who's a Chaos Space Marine main anyway. So I stopped looking at him. So there's no bias here really for me because I don't really play them at all. But I feel like Chaos Space Marines in 10th edition just got done dirty.
They got hit. So I feel like so we talked about this. Is that I felt like Chaos Space Marines were going to essentially influence the rest of the edition.
I think it should have done
this, right? Because we talked about it that
Azrael's 110 points.
Don't. Right, and he gives you CP just flat. Abaddon has to do a Dark Pact,
and get
roll an 8, and to gain a CP, right, has to do that. But obviously, you're not going to do it every turn because you can't see stuff every turn. You're not fighting every turn. So Azrael gives you a flat 5 every game if he's alive all game. Abaddon maybe gives you 3.
Yeah.
Right? And that's if you don't discard secondaries as well. Anyway.
Oh, I'm loving the super chats coming through about this, by the way, chat.
We were talking about the idea that I feel like with Chaos Space Marines, you're either AP2 damage 1 or AP1 damage 2, right? And we thought, like, this is a really good weapons profile on the concept that a sword is pointy, you know?
Yeah, sharp,
piercing,
stabby.
sharp point.
A little hole.
Right? AP2 makes sense because it's a slicing, stabbing weapon.
Yeah.
1 damage because obviously it's a slicing, stabbing weapon.
Yeah.
But a fist should be 2 damage because it's blunt force.
Yeah.
But it's not piercing, so AP1 makes sense.
It's not sharp, it's blunt.
Yeah, so it's like, why is the whole game like that?
Yeah.
Right? And it makes sense. Like, this is
And then you have a choice to make.
Yeah.
Do I want the AP or do I want the damage?
Yeah. And then, but that just didn't, but the rest of the codex writing just never kept up with it.
No.
And
Chaos Space Marines, I've said this before and I'll say it again on the show. The fact that we look at those dark packs now and most people go, I fucking hate the fact that I have to take mortals just to get my army rule. At the time, I was thinking to myself, if we have this kind of decision to make every time, if you have this positive and negative when you want to do something cool, I love that concept in the game. I could do this, but I might take this. That's cool. And if everybody had that kind of thing implemented, kind of feels fair, right?
Yeah.
But Chaos, like that, if you think about Oath now, and specifically if you come away from Codex compliant, the non sort of Codex standard chapters like Space Wolves, you come into generic Space Marines, and you think about what Oath gives you now for standard Space Marines, reroll hits on a single unit every single battle round, and +1 to wound. And actually, we'll go a step further and we'll chuck them into Ultramarines and give you Gullyman.
Yeah.
You can do 2 Oath targets a turn every turn to reroll all hits and get +1 to wound.
that's actually
And you compare it to roll 2d6, you'll get sustained and lethals, but you might take d3 mortals.
How are we spelling Git? There we go.
You're looking at his points.
340.
340,
So he is
yeah.
considerably more.
He is, but my point at that point isn't him versus Abaddon. My point is army rule versus army rule.
Yeah.
And I think that to some degree, when you look at Chaos Space Marines and you look at Abaddon, I think you have to look at because what Joe does a fair amount. I hope he doesn't mind me saying is he'll look at toughness and like survivability. He'll look at damage output and damage profile. I try and look wider, like what detachments are going to be in, what armies are going to be in, because Abaddon in pact bound zealots with dark packs, is he as good as fucking Calgar in Gladius with Oath of Moment?
Because, I think it's like, what's funny, right, is that there's only one detachment. Like, so no Chaos Space Marine detachment has a Feel No Pain in it outside of. So interestingly, the Iron Warriors attachment would give Chaos Terminators and Abaddon, Chaos Chosen, -1 to be wounded, but only in shooting, right? And we also need to remember, like, I was talking about this to people that play 40k in the UK that take a lot of advice from Art of War, it's a massively competitive channel. And the advice they give you is very, very good. But I did say to them, you need to remember in the UK, we play a very different game to the Americans. Because the Americans use the Games Workshop terrain layout, and we use the UKTC, WTC terrain layouts, which are incredibly dense and not very open. So when like the Chaos crowd, the Chaos people in America are going, you need to take all tanks, right, all the time. And you go, well, you can't do that in the UK. It doesn't.
You just get flattened.
Just get flattened because you can't shoot anything, and then people just run through walls and kills you. And the problem with the Chaos Space Marines is that there's no survivability. It's all toughness 4, 3 up save, 2 wound, 3 wound infantry. They just get flattened.
Chat, who's got the worst? I want to ask this question. Who's got the worst army rule? Chaos Space Marine with dark. I think I know the answer. I've got my answer. Chaos Space Marine with dark packs is a 1 in chat. Tyranids and Shadow in the Warp is a 2 in chat.
I know the answer to this question. I know which one I'd rather have out of the 2, but it's like, yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? Because it's one of the Tyranids was one of the first books as well, and Chaos Space was one of the first books. It feels a little bit like Chaos Space Marines and Tyranids almost was written by the same person.
Yeah.
And then someone completely different wrote Space Marines.
The thing is, though, Tyranids and Chaos Space Marines are similar in the sense that they are both quite relatively well-balanced armies. internally.
Most are going for 2s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found this like when I write Chaos Space Marine Army lists, I'm like, I get fuck all. You get nothing. You don't really get much. And then you write a normal Space Marine army, and they just get
loads
of stuff.
Loads of shit, yeah.
Right.
I have a few occasions over the course of the last year or so, I've put together some kind of Space Marine army, whether that be Space Wolves or Ultramarines or whatever. And I've gone, what do I need? How do I make a list? And I've sat there and I've crafted a list, and I've got some help from you, and I've had some help from Paddy and what have you. Got to a point where I'm happy with the list. I've then added all the items to cart at Elements and gone, fucking 500 quid to get an army.
So what's interesting, right?
And maybe that's not bad nowadays, but I look at that and go, I'm sure you could get 4 or 5 units and a couple of vehicles for Space Marine before I have an army.
Do you remember when Deathwing Knights came out?
Yeah, a while ago, yeah.
They were not good when they came out. Their defensive profile was great, but their offensive profile was bad.
Yeah.
They were like AP 1 damage 2 or damage 2 damage 1. No, AP 2 damage 1 or AP 1 damage 2. Right? And do you know what they did to fix that? They made both profiles AP 2 damage 2.
They did, yeah.
Right? And I'm like, they've done that in other cases across the board as well. So why haven't they done it with other stuff?
A heads up, Blackfired Pod, right? When people say 3D printer go burr, I have an instant fucking reaction where I want to ban them from the channel forever.
I go a little bit like...
Yeah. So just a heads up, because you know, I know you're relatively new here. That makes me want to go banned.
We advocate 3D printing for terrain.
Custom bits.
Because Games Workshop has a very limited capacity in selling terrain for all of its
custom bits, upgrade bits, completely custom models. Actually, fine with that.
Yeah, but 3D printing straight copies of models, we are against.
Very.
Yeah.
Personally.
Like, yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's theft, right? It's physical AI, isn't it? Really. It's AI by another name, in a way.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just think there's just armies in the game now that require very simple fixes to become good, but Games Workshop aren't touching it. And it's like, do we have to wait another... Where are we now? We're nearly February, so March, April, May, June. So we're 3 to 4 months out of a new edition, really. Maybe 5.
I know. Relatively. Have you been here 8 years? I would say that AdMech had a worse codex than Chaos Space Marines did, yeah. But AdMech...
AdMech have had so much work, and now they're like one of the best armies in the game.
But AdMech, like, but it feeds the problem that we're talking about with points, because one of the main ways they fixed AdMech is they've dropped the fucking points everywhere.
Yeah.
So at that point, you're like, I saw Paddy's army that he put on the table. It's a sea of robots.
Yeah.
A sea of robots.
I'm always wondering, like, why aren't Chaos Space Marines getting that love? Right? Because I'm always like, Chaos Space Marines are literally the reason why the Imperium and the universe is the way it is currently.
Do you think there's a perfect codex in this edition, in 10th edition?
A perfect codex?
Yeah. Has there been a perfect codex in 10th edition that you can think of?
I think there is, right?
Okay.
But the edition has moved away from it.
Okay.
But I do think it is a perfect codex. That is the Tyranid Codex.
Oh, really? Okay.
I would argue that the Tyranid Codex was...
Even with Shadow of the Warp as your army rule?
Shadow of the Warp is a fucking awful army rule, right? But
that's not perfect, then, is it?
But the internal workings of that codex are great, because the detachments are all narrative. They all hit the mark on what they're there to do, you know? The units themselves are good and representative of what they are there to do. The Swarm Lord is great. Hive Tyrants are great. Carnifexes are, like, they hit hard and they're kind of pointed where they need to be, you know? Exocrines, Jesus do what they're supposed to do. Your Gaunts do. Everything does what it's supposed to do. But I think the edition has power crept it out.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
not necessarily inclined to disagree with that.
Right. It's just the internal balance in that book is incredible, but the game isn't. Oh, so I've talked about this before, this stream, but also in previous streams, that the UK and America play two different games. America plays the game that Games Workshop wants you to play, and for some reason, the UK is like, we have to be different, and we play this entirely different terrain layout. I think, and I would like the UK to just go and play on Games Workshop terrain layouts, because Games Workshop is fighting a balance that it can't win, and armies that function really well in America function in the system that Games Workshop wants you to play in, and then we kind of force it into this weird, this is like a square peg in a round hole scenario. And I think we'd be having more fun if we played on GW terrain now.
Yeah, probably. I think the Nid Codex was pretty good for all the reasons that you said.
Yeah.
I question it being perfect codex only because I think Shadow and the Warp is such a dreadful army rule, and anything that involves battle shock and leadership is just not very good in this edition, in my opinion. Yeah. I also thought, for me, Eldar was a pretty perfect codex release. Needed some points adjustments. Obviously, they went a bit ham with the rule changes.
I think that book was fundamentally broken, but only because of one character, one unit.
Dragons and Fusion.
That entire codex was defined by Fuegan and the Fire Dragons.
Yeah.
If they weren't in it, I think that would be a perfect codex.
So for me, who's not a competitive person, looking in that book as an Eldar player, basically a perfect book. But it clearly wasn't, because they had to make rules changes. Some people came in there earlier and said Tau. But Tau's guide system got heavily changed. Yeah. It can't be perfect.
His PT Turbo says Shadow and Warp should be, or P Turbo should be every turn. I think it should say it is, but the -1 leadership aura should be on all the time, because that only happens during the unleashing of the hive mind, right? That -1 aura should always be if you're in synapse range. So your leadership should always be at -1 if you are in synapse, because that's more representative of what the hive mind does.
Yeah. I also think there should be modifiers to your leadership. If you're what I've never liked is if you've got a squad of 20 fucking Kriegers, right, and you go down to 9, and they have to take a battle shock test to see if they're battle shocked.
Yeah,
it's a normal test on leadership 7, I think it is.
Yeah.
If they go down to 2, it's a normal test on leadership 7.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that maybe there should be modifiers. So if they're down to 2 people, there should be a -3 modifier or whatever, because you're you've been fucking battered. There's 2 of you left. You start with 20 comrades. 2 of you are left.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna segue this chat from it. I think you're right. I think points is a weird one, and I don't know where they get the numbers from. And I don't think it's kind of go about there. But I think it's so complicated to get points right, because you have to think about Lone Op, Feel No Pains, Aura of Deceit. Who can he join? What army is he in? What's the detachment rules he's got access to?
There needs to be a balance. So we've talked about the concept that units shouldn't be penalised, the characters should be penalised for what they do to those units, right? So Abaddon's a high points because he is an army buffer, but the problem is they've also hit the units he can join with the points increase as well.
Well, they're always being taken, yeah, because he fucking has to be taken with them.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have to be, but you're not going to not.
It's like you're almost penalised for running the units that you want that are cool as well. And obviously we've banged the drum of the granular points for weapons needs to be bought in, just because
please granular points, please.
Just Raptors, the new Raptor unit is 110 points, right? The whole unit can be given a bolt pistol and a chainsword, but right, even when you've got 10, you're never going to see a bolt pistol and a chainsword in that unit.
No.
Because a unit of Raptors can have 5 power fists. So a 5-man unit of Raptors can have 3 power fists, heavy combat weapons, a melter gun and a plasma gun. When it goes to 10, you can have an additional 2 power fists, an additional 2 special weapons, so another melter gun, another plasma gun, and then the 10th man, you give mutations to. He just has power weapon. So it's like the unit is pointed at the best loadout, which I get because that's what you're just going to run. But like the bolt pistol, you might as well just not have bolt pistols and chainswords on the sprue. Okay, so just wasting plastic at that point. And I'm like, that unit should be 80 points base.
Yeah.
Just 5 guys with bolt pistol chainsword, and then the guns and the weapons should increase that. Because I'm like, Raptors shouldn't be 110 points.
So I understand the requirement and need to. By the way, chat. Before I jump into this next point, we are on 17 new members right now. It is. I'm not around tonight. I'm not about. It is Joe and Paddy and Tom, and it is Chaos Space Marines, mostly Iron Warriors versus Paddy's Adeptus Roritas, Sisters of Battle, with some new units. So I'd love for you guys to get behind them tonight, like you did last week. Was it last week? It was last week, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. But I'd also love you to shower me with love today.
Well, we did. So I've said that every time a stream gets to 200, we'll do a giveaway.
Yeah, I need to order that model.
Yeah. So we've done one.
Can you please remind me after the show?
Yeah, I'm doing new Necron Man.
Is he on general sale yet?
Yeah.
Okay, can you remind me after the show and I'll order it?
So I'm doing new Necron Man for last week's winner. So it's just like every time we do 200 members, I'll do a character that's 40 quid or less. You know, I don't even say it's 40. So 40. Some people say, "Oh, 40 quid's not much," but you got to think like 40 quid isn't an amount of money to buy it, right? But you've got to think of the time it's then going to take me to build it and paint it, which isn't going to be like it's going to be my day rate.
Yeah, right.
And it's not. It might not take me. It might take me more than a day to do it. You know, to paint a single model. So I think you're getting good value, right? I know some people when they do their giveaways, the people that gift the memberships or do super chats, they're the ones that only get entered. You know, once we hit that number, everyone's entered. Right.
Well, members only.
Members only. You know.
Gareth says if we hit 500, if you hit 500 and on tonight's show only, Joe has to finish and play the Hierophant before the end of February.
Done.
I mean, if you hit 500 in a single show, I'd take that if he's happy to do it. I'd be okay with it.
Thing is, so I've painted 73 models this month so far.
I looked yesterday. I put it on the stream.
I showed everyone. Slowly. You already showed them my little...
The list. I showed the list.
Yeah. And and there's a lot of greens popping in there.
There is, yeah.
Which is exciting. You know, and I'm doing a lot of chaos, and I've basically done all Templars now.
That's all green, yeah.
That's all green, apart from a unit of like jump pack intercessors.
See, I keep looking.
And then chaos go there, but like I would like to start hitting some Tyranids. You know, Toby's always complaining that I only paint tower armor. Warhammer's only Space Marines, and I'm like, yes, Toby. Warhammer is. I mean,
he's got a bit of a point.
He has got a point, but also the game is only Space Marines.
I mean,
right?
It's not.
There's more Space Marine. There's more power armor faction than like every other faction in the game.
Yeah, but is there Space Marines?
Space Marines, Templars, Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Space Wolves.
Yeah. Chaos Space
Death
Marines.
Watch.
Yeah.
Chaos Space Marines.
World Eaters, Thousand Sons.
Thousand Sons.
Emperor's
Death Guard.
Children.
Emperor's Children. So
11. Would you count Sisters? They're power
armor.
armor.
Yeah, they've got power armor. 12.
12.
They're
okay.
literally in power armor.
Right. So Imperial Knights, Astra Militarum, Chaos Knights, Adeptus Custodes. We've got Tyranids, Tau, Necrons, Eldar, Drakari, Votan. We're on 10 already.
Yeah.
Have I missed a fucking...
Votan are technically in power armor. Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah. It's called Void armor, but it is power armor.
Well, I think we're pushing it here to say that it's all power armor.
But it's all smooth lines, right?
Smooth lines.
But like, I am very much looking forward to do it because I have got a lot of Tyranids to do, right? I'd like to get the fists done. I'd like to get... because my fists are all built and half painted. I just need to get them over the line. But I have got a lot of Tyranids I want to get done.
Custodians of Power, right.
Grey Knights.
To be clear, chat, Toby's issue is all Space Marines all the time. So maybe we use the word Space Marines instead of fucking power armor if you're going to be finicky about what is and isn't power armor.
But also, like, I can only build and paint what I own. There's like 600 plus models that I own, right? What's mental is that is not a complete list
No, I know.
of everything that's in my garage.
Doesn't include Heresy and AOS.
Like the World Eaters aren't even on there. Like I looked at the World Eaters, what I have in my garage. It doesn't include all the Horus Heresy stuff. It doesn't include Age of Sigmar.
The funny thing as well is whilst Toby's like, Joe, maybe less power armor, I'm sat there looking at fucking Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at all the plastic power armor kits, which is my biggest barrier for Horus Heresy in years gone by is resin. Because I fucking hate the stuff. I don't like it. I don't mind it for like a single character or whatever, but I hate it as an army. And now they've basically fucked that barrier off and everything's in plastic.
Right. I have one massive bugbear.
Horus
Heresy.
Okay.
Right. Horus Heresy, years ago, was mostly resin, which you hate.
I do.
A Leviathan Dreadnought. No, we'll start. We'll go with a Contemptor Dreadnought, mid-level Dreadnought, right?
Okay.
Has 2 feet, 2 shin sections, right? So 4 knees, 6.
Oh, I know where you're going to go immediately.
10, right? Waist joint, 11, 12, chest 13, back 14, left arm or left shoulder, right foot 16. Guns.
You're saying it's less than 30 pieces.
It's less than 25 pieces for the whole model.
Yeah.
Right? The whole model is 25 pieces. Right? The Admech Thanatar and the standard Contemptor. No, what are they fucking called? The robots. Castellax, right?
Thalax is the little ones.
Yeah. Thalax were like
Thanatars.
8 pieces. Castellax 10, 12, right? A plastic Contemptor Dreadnought is like 60 pieces, right? The Castellax robots, 70 pieces, right?
I've got them to build.
And I'm like, these models don't need to be complicated, right? They went from being the most simple, easy things in the world to build and get on the table to just horrifically awful to build, right?
It's fucking shit. They know my business has. So thankfully, Toby sits opposite me in the Hobby House office downstairs, and behind him is an IKEA unit with 10,000 points of Heresy Mechanicum in it. So he had already pre-warned me. Also, when I got the box through yesterday, I opened it up and looked at all the instructions and was like,
yeah.
Ugh.
Like, we live in a world where the Ballistas Dreadnought for Space Marines, which is push fit, right, is like 20 pieces, right? It is push fit. I'll give you that, right? You could make it multi-part by bumping it to 30 pieces, right? I'm like, why is Horus Heresy so much? Like, why have they over-designed it to the point where a Leviathan Dreadnought leg is more pieces than an entire Ballistas Dreadnought? Doesn't need to be that. I'm like, they're like, oh, it's like the modelers armies.
Pete Ebbets have just started building the new Cataphracti, which Joe's very excited about. Awesome new models, horrible kit to build, a lot of small pieces and half pieces.
I found a fun fact this morning. I thought you only had 6 in that big army box set because I did a trade with Paddy for some tanks, and he got me the new Siege box set, which comes with the 10 breaches and the Dreadnought. And I thought 6 Cataphracti. Toby told me there's 12. I was so excited. I was like, the value went up. It's doubled. I'm like, now I want more.
I'm not like put off by the number of bits in it, to be fair. I'm more excited about building a Thanatar than I have been about putting a model together.
We've got loads of plastic Admech back there.
We haven't.
Have you taken it home?
No, the Heresy stuff.
Yeah.
We gave it all to Toby, didn't we?
I think he said no.
I don't know, I'm sure he took it home. I'm sure I spoke to him last night in the gym and he said he's at home. He said some of it might be left over if I wanted it. I was like, no, you deserve it.
I offered it to him because I was like, do you want to take it? And he was like, nah, I've got loads.
Yeah, and then I picked it up and you said, I've already offered it to him. I was like, mate, you can take it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Are you sure? I was like, yeah, and he took it home. I'm sure he did. Positive. Because I went back there the other day looking for the tanks because I wanted to build one of the big steam tank things.
Yeah.
It's cool as shit. So, but yeah. I had element crystals, so my combat box for them wasn't very expensive because of my element crystals. It cost me like a tenner. So I've got that for now.
I've got some element crystals. I'm tempted to get another one of those big boxes, but like, so I can get more breaches and more fracti. But there's like, I'm just adding more to this.
I'm so fucking keen on heresy at the moment.
Well, the thing is, so I'm getting to the point now where I can soon have a full Night Lord's heresy army.
Yeah.
And then when I was going through my drawers at home, I found Hibu Khan, White Scar Stormseer, White Scar's helmets and shoulder pads. And I was like, I want a White Scar's heresy army because I just want all bikes all the time. All heresy bikes all the time. White Scar's army would just be life.
Yeah, but then this also comes around to, by the way, chat, we did get some more members. We're up to 22. If we could go for, there's 275 people watching, and the YouTube is only showing me 90 likes right now. So I'm sure you can all hit that like button. That's free. If you can do that, that's amazing. Get us over 100 likes. Also, if every single one of you gifts a membership of 5, in fact, if every single one of you gifts 5 memberships, then Joel will have to paint the Hierophant before the end of February and play with it.
I really want to get to the Hierophant. Like, it's literally sat next to my desk.
I was talking to Toby about additions last night when we were in Das Gym, right? And I've been looking at Heresy quite a lot lately because 40k fatigue, and that fatigue will probably change when 11th edition drops, right? Because we're 2.5 years into an edition, it's kind of on the wind down. I think we all feel that. It's hard to make content about it because I think we all feel that, and I get it, and I really appreciate the nearly 300 people that keep showing up for Liam and Joe shows when we're kind of flogging a fucking dead horse here about the rule set, because what do we talk about? Because it's not really going to change massively in 6 months.
We'll have little spikes over time, right?
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, we know the Huron Blackheart Maelstrom stuff's coming, and then
which would be cool.
That I'm assuming the Iron Warriors stuff will be attached to
some sort of campaign.
Some kind of campaign. Yeah. Like, do not read anything in. Someone messaged me yesterday, like, Joe, you're doing the Iron Warriors. What do you know? And I was like, if I knew anything, I would tell you.
People said that to me about.
But I'm like
intuition about the next Primarch. I'm like, I don't know anything. I have no intuition. And if I did know, I wouldn't say it.
I was like, I know nothing. Right? I don't know anything. But what I do know is I have loads of stuff in my possession. I'm just trying to paint and get out. And Iron Warriors are very easy to paint quickly. And I was like, I had the stuff. I got hyped for it. Some of that stuff just kind of jumped the queue, you know. But I am very excited for the new Iron Warriors stuff. But I'm very excited for just Chaos Space Marines. I'm the most excited about Chaos Space Marines now than I have the entire edition. Apart from when I knew the Chaos Space Marine Codex was coming out, right?
Blackfire says, I'm so curious for these new three CSM detachments. Hope we get them soon. How soon to you?
How soon is soon?
How soon do you think is soon?
Yeah.
Right? I'm just wondering. Just a reason. I'm just asking a question. Right?
Like, what is interesting is that I think there's a 4th campaign coming.
Oh, really? Okay.
So here's completely aside, right?
I was going to start talking about heresy, but go on, Joe.
So I was talking to Josh about this last night, right? Rumour Engine showed a foot.
It did.
Of a horse.
It did.
Right? It's a Death Rider horse, let's be honest. Let's not be around that bush. I will kill a man for that to be a generic marshal
or a commissar.
Or a commissar on horse.
Commissar on horse, I would want him just to be entered into a painting competition.
Or a
piece.
command squad.
Yeah.
You know? More flags, right?
More flags.
Also, I'm super excited because I've also chosen Krieg, right? But we have had no sign of new Votan man, right? We have had no sign of new Tau people, right? And, right, we think there's probably new guards. There might be some more guard stuff coming, you know? I think we are going to get a Damocles book, Damocles golf book, because Tyrannid Man hasn't come either, and the only place in the universe that has Guard, Tau, Votan, and Tyrannids is the Damocles golf.
Okay.
I'm going to get a Damocles book. That's what I'm hoping for. I'd kill a man for a Damocles. Because we've heard nothing from the Damocles golf for the entire edition. Games Workshop just fucking binned it off.
I don't know if I think...
Also, Damocles, where you had like the whole like Cryptman.
I don't know if I think it's a Death Rider Horsefoot, but I don't know.
It's definitely a Death Rider Horsefoot. People have compared it to all Death Rider, and it's like definitely.
Blackfired says end of February. That far away? Leave that there. It's Yarrick stitched onto the front end of a horse. Yeah, it just makes this centaur. Soups thinks it's Slaaneshi demon related.
It's not. It's literally because it's not a hoof, right? But Death Rider horses don't have hoofs. They've got like a weird clawed trotter thing going on.
You do,
because obviously because they're designed for going for like rough terrain of going over no man's land, but also for clawing people's faces off.
So what I have started doing, as I've said to you already, right? What I've tried to steer the conversation this way a couple of times. I've started looking at Heresy a lot more, and I started a little bit yesterday, or the day before, looking at army composition. So like, I haven't got a lot of money at the moment. Times are hard. Times are really tough. We're putting a lot into building downstairs. YouTube's slow. Chat are all feeling the pinch. It's January. So I don't want to be buying loads of stuff that I then can't use. I don't want 10,000 points of AdMech right now because it's pointless, right? So I started looking into points, and I had this, and this is relevant because of the topic is points, right? But I had this instant washover of, because it's how it used to be. Because it is, you want to add a plasma pistol, 5 points. Oh, you want to add a fucking multi-melter, 10 points, or whatever it was.
You've got a captain or a console, and you can either be on foot,
right,
or have a jump pack, or be on a bike, or be on a Shimata bike, or be in Terminator armor.
Do you know what I mean?
Swiss Army knife captains.
So, and this is my point, right? So I looked at that and I was like, and then I started thinking about your point about like, for example, the Wolfguard Terminators and what have you. And I think, it's one of those situations where maybe that wouldn't be so bad if War Gear points was a thing as well. Because if you look at the unit of Chosen that Abaddon goes with, who's priced at 250 points, but they're priced at 250 points if they took every single best weapon. So maybe if a unit of Chosen was 150 points, and once you've given them all the weapons, they become 250 points, maybe then there's more of an argument.
So they all come with a bolt gun and a power sword, right? The only weapon options in that unit is 2 of them can take power fists, 2 of them can take lightning claws, and 4 of them can take a combi weapon.
I miss the days of, I've got 5 points left over, so that character now has a plasma pistol, which I otherwise normally wouldn't have given him, but he's now got one because I've got 5 points left over. I miss that, and I wonder if some of the problem with Dreer being 100 points and Abaddon being 270 points, and I know this doesn't necessarily work for named characters because they have preset war gear, but I just feel like the points issue is a problem because we have to point everything now, or it seems that the rules team has to point everything now to its most efficient version.
Yeah, so like, I think...
And you can't just point a unit as a unit now. You have to point it to its most efficient version at all times and assume that someone's going to take the strongest option no matter what. I like to take options because I think I take options on my X-Arcs often because I think the model part looks cooler rather than because I think the rules are better.
So I'm trying to find him quickly.
I missed that, and I started reading it on Heresy, and I got so excited about customizing characters.
So a Lord Discordant, no, a Lord Exultant, so the Emperor's Children Lord, right? As we all know, is an absolute fucking weapon. Right, 80 points. So he's 20 points less than Field Marshal Dreer.
Of course.
Right. His abilities are he gives his unit lethal hits, and once per battle, he can give himself +3 attacks and +1 AP in combat. His weapon choices are War Gear options. Plasma pistol, power fist, lash, power sword, screamer pistol, phoenix spear. Right, so he's got like 6 weapon options. You are only ever going to give him the spear and the lash. There's no reason to give him anything else.
I like the spear and the fist from a purely aesthetic perspective.
Aesthetically, pure fist and spear
Looks cool.
looks the best.
It looks cool.
Right? But you're never going to use the fist because it's not as good as the spear.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like and you can only use the fist or the spear when fighting, but you can use the spear and the lash at the same time. So it's like, there's just no point like taking anything out. So at that point, you're like, 80 points is the best loadout. So realistically, a Lord Exultant should probably only be 70 points, maybe 65 points when he comes with a plasma pistol and a power sword.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to jump into you wonderful people in chat. We have had some stuff come through from you sexy human beings. You've had a week off, so I should expect incredible members. Hopes? No?
I haven't really had a week off.
We're on, no, but from, from giving hopes and stuff. With 37 members in chat, we are 13 away from 50. I tell you what, if we get to 100 on this show, I will drop the first Joe short tomorrow.
Oh. It's Friday tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll drop the first Joe painting short on the channel tomorrow. There you go. Little carrot for you. Little dangly carrot. Gareth Hackney, he became a Jarl tier member before we even started. Thank you so much, Gareth.
About?
You're a legend. Love you. Mr. Dave B gifted 1. Luke Piewalker also became a Jarl tier member. What a hero. Thank you so much. And then Buckshot, Joe comes in and drops 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Buckshot. I hope that you see tomorrow, tomorrow you're given a very flat-bottomed kayak, like a canoe, and then you can just use that canoe to go wherever you want because everywhere's fucking flooded at the moment.
Yeah, fucking right. Yeah.
Next, mainly because I thought about it for myself. So where I take the dog for a walk near my house, we call it the humps because it's loads of like big holes, which is obviously for flooding, right? And they're like tiered down, so like one fills up, overflows, goes into the next one. They're all full at the moment. The dog loves it because it just swims all day. But I was like, if I had a kayak, I could literally just go bloop, bloop, bloop all the way down. It'd be great fun.
Oh yeah, there's a Facebook page which is like non-league football clubs, and they posted a groundsman said pitch inspection completed, corners are a bit wet, and there's a photo of just him in the middle of the football pitch, on literally in a boat. Yeah, he's just got you've got like goal mouths and that's it, just water. And he's just sat there on a boat. I was like, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Probably can't play on that. Scooter, thank you for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Scooter. I hope that you become bolt action champion of the country.
Fair. That's a good one. Thank you, Scry, for the $5. He says, cheers, Liam. Just cheers. Liam just looking for an excuse not to paint his Nina. I don't have any inclination to paint anything right now.
I mean, you have probably just pivoted into custodes, right? So you have to wait for them to come out.
I will, yeah. But actually, the Dark Angels not in a circle combines Deathwing Knights are on my desk, and I was looking at one literally yesterday, but I don't have the capacity at the moment to paint. Because I like the scheme I'm coming up with. I'm a fan of it, and I think I could do a whole Space Marine army in that colour over time.
Isn't it basically Toby's one? Instead of black, it's red.
This is all silver. Yeah, it's silver and red. It's a scheme I did ages and ages ago, and I've just revisited it, but with Dark Angels models instead, and I love it. I just haven't got the capacity. I'm so fucking tired all the time. The last thing I want to do when I go home and my eyes are fucking on fire is sit there and get a paintbrush out and start concentrating on tiny little details. Yeah. Once the shop's open and it's up and running, I think it will settle a little bit and I'll get the chance. But I would have sat there quite happily and built new AdMech robots. What I really, 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 really want, and I couldn't give a flying fuck about the new Eldar attachments or the Chaos attachments or Red Corsairs or fucking Ironware. I don't care. I just want new custodian models. And I want a sea. I don't want fucking wardens now or jet bikes. I'm buying nothing. I want a sea of guard, just led, because I've got Valdor at home now, just led by Valdor. That's what I want.
That new Shield Captain is fucking beautiful.
Absolutely. He's stunning.
So nice.
Shield Captain, Valdor, new guard models. Just the new stuff. The new Venatari look incredible.
I, after doing the Emperor's Children, had a bit of regret on using fancy bases, because the moment you have to add anything to your army, you have to buy fancy bases, which basically adds an extra third half onto every unit that you buy, especially depending on how expensive you go with fancy bases. And I was like, after Emperor's Children, I was like, never again. And then I saw the Custodes, and I was like, oh, damn, they look good on fancy bases.
I have been hunting for fancy bases for them that I want to put them on. Because originally I wanted to use the same ones we've used for the Emperor's Children, but I thought we have too many of those then. Yeah. So I've been trying to find other ones. And I found some beautiful, I'm trying to go simple, not too complicated. So I found some beautiful World War sort of 1, 2 inspired cobbled streets and stuff. I was like, that could look really nice actually, with this Custodians on them, quite regal. So that's what I want. And I was reading chat earlier as well, and if you want to know if points is a problem, it's when you can get 30 Custodian Guard for under 1,200 points.
Well, it's 30, or is it? What did Sam Nash? He won that tournament with 30 Custodian Guard and three Land Raiders.
Yeah,
wild.
Yeah, that's 30 Custodian Guard and 3 Land Raiders is a vibe I could definitely get on board with. Although I'd want to use the new transports because they just look cooler.
The whale egg, it's fucking massive. That
fucking looks cool, doesn't it?
They're so smooth, right? On the outside, I was looking at it and I was like, I bet they still find a way to make that thing 200 pieces.
Yeah. Right. Oh, absolutely. It's a heresy kit.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Scribe, for the $5. I am looking for an excuse not to do Nina, but my excuse is I just don't have the capacity for it right now. I really want to. I really, really want to, but I can't. Harbour, Mr. The Vortex Games from Canada Land. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you. I hope that you get a new snowmobile. Not snow there, cool. But with a little wagon on the back.
We're 1 away from 50, chat.
Yeah. Just give people away.
Yeah.
Don't drive people around.
Yeah. There we go. 1 away from 50 members. Thank you so much, Harbour, for the 5 gifted. Nick, thank you for the $5. He says, here we go. Custodian Guard have been point dropped from being meh to the point spamming them, and Land Raiders is legit madness. So, yeah, exactly.
So basically, the reason behind that is that Wardens are too good as a unit.
Wardens are exceptional.
They are insanely good. And this is the sign of a broken codex, right? Is that you cannot change the custodian's rules without making Wardens better, right? If you give them the new detachment that's really, really good, well, Wardens will still just be an auto take in it. You change the army rule, well, Wardens will still be good in it. So a Custodian Guard are just Custodian Guard are worse than Victrix Guard. They're just fancy Terminators, really, just with a little bit of a better fighting stuff. So Games Workshop can only change points on Custodian Guard, and they've never found a good place for them. They're either too cheap or too expensive. So they need to find a way of fixing Wardens. Polychrome says Legends of Warden. With the new, I've changed my stance on Custodes in the sense that I was like, the new heresy stuff won't be seen in new Custodes. I'm like, maybe this is how you fix Custodes, is you get rid of Wardens entirely. And it's just Custodian Guard. And that's it.
Well, Polychrome says it, but if you give Custodian Guard the option to take axes and spears, you don't need the Wardens.
Yeah, and
they're suddenly not obsolete, right? People can still use them.
When I was with VT, I had a Custodes army. I loved that army, and it had all my units were just Custodian Guard, but I used Custodian Guard and Warden models together because they just look nice and more fancy.
Yeah, I fucking love the Warden models as. I always thought when you compared Guard to Wardens, there wasn't a competition. The Wardens were just nicer. and I was like, if I ever make an army, it will just be wardens. And the way that you'll know whether it's a guard or a warden is it'll be a spear or a fucking axe, basically. And then I saw the new ones, and I was like, oh, now the wardens look derpy compared to the new ones.
Yeah.
You know, they're so fucking good. But yeah, 30 custodian. I personally believe, and this goes back to what we talked about before about the army sizes, right? When you can take 30 custodian guard and 3 land raiders in less than 2,000 points, that's a problem. I don't think that's right. Now, I want custodian players to be able to take enough units that they can still play the game. Of course I do. But taking 30 guard and 3 land raiders is fucking insane. Like, you shouldn't be able to fit that into 2,000 points. You just shouldn't. Yeah. You know, there used to be a point where putting a land raider in your list was a real moment because it was so many fucking points, but it was such a fucking unit as well.
It was really, really good. It was really, really strong, but a lot of points. And there were like, that's like everything in the game, how the game should be.
Yeah, but that's because
there should be a choice.
We had caps, didn't we? So a land raider, if you're unaware, had an armor value of 14 all around. If you don't know how armor value works in the old edition of the game, when you rolled to wound, you took the strength of the weapon that you were firing and you added a d6 roll to it. Now, if you equaled the armor value, you glanced the armor and you did some kind of superficial damage. If you penetrated it by rolling higher than the armor value, you then rolled on a damage chart and you could immobilize it, you could destroy weapons and all that kind of stuff, right? So that was how it used to work, and that's how it still works in Horus Heresy, and I fucking miss it, and I can't wait to start playing Heresy again. But when you have armor value 14, but you have a strength cap on weapons of 10, you're never wounding that tank on better than a 4+. Never. That's the way the game should be.
Yeah.
That, you know, that when you have that cap, I think one of Warhammer's biggest mistakes is removing the strength and toughness cap of 10.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe it. Genuinely believe that that's one of their biggest mistakes. Because what they did is, specifically as well, toughness went through the roof all over the place for most big things, although somehow Space Marines are still toughness 4. In a scale where toughness is limitless, they're toughness 4. That doesn't make sense. And then strength kind of didn't keep up.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense now. But, you know.
It's like Zangor, a toughness 4.
Yeah, so was a Space Marine.
Space Goat. Same toughness as a man in power armor. You know, a 10-foot tall man in genetically enhanced in power armor. Same toughness as Space Goat.
Bastian says, at this point, I would take a nerf to the Wardens so my army can get to rework and feel elite again. 100%. 100%. But I think if you're removing that strength and toughness cap, I think you had to scale strength and toughness better, and I don't think they have.
Yeah.
I just think they.
But I think the problem is now is that like Games Workshops, they want to have this kind of like 3-tier system within each game system. So you've got kill team, combat patrol, full scale, right? And you've got like Warcry, Underworlds, Spearhead, big AOS. So whereas you've got a small skirmish game, small battle game, it's kind of forced towards full large scale. So big AOS, big 40k, they want you to feel like you're playing with a big army. So I think it's to discourage the concept and the idea of people wanting to play Apocalypse.
Yeah, I missed that. I think Apocalypse was a good idea.
Yeah, and I think it's because since getting rid of Apocalypse, because Games Workshop like to change rules for change's sake, and it's to their detriment. Because when Apocalypse went away, and then they brought it back as this weird kind of pseudo epic Titanicus game, it just didn't work, and they've never made it work again since. I feel like they just need to go back to their old roots and go, here is old school Apocalypse.
Yeah, I agree.
Mad.
Thank you, Tank, for $5. He says it is a bit stupid that you can take an entire Space Marine company in 2,000 points, but it is also stupid that they would struggle to win against most matchups. Fuck me, never has a truer word been spoken. It's so right, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
Didn't Josh take a Space Marine company to the table of tactics
full
day?
battle. He did all right, but then like the problem is the tabletop tactics terrain is very narrative,
Yeah.
right, and quite open. So when you're just banging down 100 intercessors, basically, like there's not much that can't not die to that.
Yeah.
But when you play on traditional terrain layouts, like it doesn't function, you know. But the thing is, that we like when you take like a full Terminator army, you know, which you would think would be the most resilient, best thing in the world, right?
Just dies.
It just because toughness 5, 3 wounds is not good.
No, not now.
Because toughness 5 is the average strength in the game, right? And it's starting to creep towards strength 6 as the average strength in the game, because there's so much stuff that's just I was having this discussion the other day when I said that I would rather be a Victrix Honor Guard at toughness 4 than a Terminator.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, but Terminator's toughness 5. I was like, yes, but when you're a Victrix Honor Guard at toughness 4, right, and something that's strength 5 hits you, it wounds you on 4s.
Yeah.
Much like a Terminator that gets hit by something on toughness 5, strength 5. But if you're a Terminator that gets hit by something that's strength 6, it's wounding you on 3s. But if you're a Victrix Honor Guard, still wounding you on 4s, right? It's not until you get to strength 9 that Victrix Honor Guard gets wounded on 3s.
Yep. Mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mad.
Which is insane.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I was like, so like, I think the problem is we're getting into a position now where Games Workshop's only real fix to the strength problem and toughness problem that's been created by ignoring the toughness 10 cap, the strength 10 cap, is that the only way to fix that now is to mass output things like -1 to be hit, -1 to be wounded. But then they're not decreasing the amount of reroll hits, reroll wounds in the game, because that in itself is a fix to the mass inclusion of -1 to hit, -1 to wound.
Oh, this is what I was saying before.
Yeah.
Like when I played Heresy with John when he came over for the launch of it, we got to into about round 2 and was like, both of us have most of our stuff still.
Yeah.
Like, this is weird. Imagine spending all that time and money on your toys and all that effort and then actually be able to play with them for more than a turn. Isn't that mental?
Yeah.
Crazy thought.
The rules are written by a bunch of... So the thing is, though, I want to give Games Workshop props, though.
Oh.
Right? The internet doesn't like that. People
If you don't like it, stick it in the super chat. Go.
Right? Is that the rules team that wrote the edition we play in now, and most of the codexes that we have now, is not the team that's in charge now.
Correct.
Right?
I've said this before.
And I think people are aware of it but choose not to accept it, you know. And I think like the guys that are in charge now are doing their best, but I guess there's only so much they can do within the knowledge of the new edition coming and then the edition after that, because obviously we know that the lead time on play testing, rules writing, getting it to the table in front of you is like years.
I feel like we've definitely seen a change as well. Like I'm already seeing less while this model's leading a unit, for example.
Yeah, so that's starting to that's clearly being phased out.
Yeah, which I think is good.
It not on the character stuff is this unit. When this unit does a thing, blah blah blah, which is quite good, and it's changed to this model, this unit, which I think is a great fix. But it's like that's why I think the change, because we used to get the Mutor and field manuals and stuff every 6 months. Is it 6 months we used to get it? And now it's yearly.
What's that?
We used to get like the 6 months, what is it called? The companion books we used to get, which would change the missions, change secondaries.
Oh, yeah, chapter approved.
Chapter approved, right? It was
Yeah,
every
now
6
it's yearly,
months.
yeah.
Because...
I thought when you said field manual, I was like, no, that's 3 months.
Because what happens was like you'd be... A chapter approved would come out, but they'd already written and play tested like the next 3. But the problem is that they're on, say, the 4th one, but they're still having to play test and balance the game now. And I imagine it just becomes a nightmare to keep it balanced. And that's why it's gone to yearly. And and I agree with that. I'm surprised that like it's not every 2 years, but I suppose they have to have variety.
Well, it's because the edition's only fucking 3 years. So
I'm dying for a wee.
Oh, yeah. Chat, we're still one member away from 50. Can someone just get me to 50, please? That'd be great. I am not having fun right now with YouTube. It's been a stress. Everyone took as much of it as they could, like they do with Damage 3 now. What's that, mate? I had lots of fun ignoring Vuns. Oh, okay, we had lots of... I've caught up. Good, perfect. Interview stage 1 past, stage 2 will be next week. Congratulations, Dave. Everyone say congratulations to Dave. Thank you, Baldrick, for the 1 gifted membership, getting us to 50. You're a legend. I will get to the rest of you in just a moment who deserve Joe hopes and actual comments, right? Job sounds superb. Good man. I'll accept they'd written the next 3, but I don't believe for a minute they play tested them. Well, the things are play tested. How and who by is the part of the question, Sean, to be clear. But the things are supposedly play tested. I want to be positive for 11th. I do. But I am kind of haunted by my experience with 10th, where I was really positive and I got sold a dream by them directly, I might add. I got sold a dream. I got shown it behind the scenes before it went live, a long time before it went live, and again, sold a dream. And it just it didn't meet up to expectations, to be quite frank. You're looking forward to Beachhead 8 days ago. I'm looking forward to Beachhead now. I've decided I'm not playing. Now I've decided I'm going to come just for the social side. I'm looking forward to Beachhead. When I had to contemplate somewhere in the region of between 3 to 6 games of Warhammer 40k, I was not looking forward to Beachhead. Now I'm not playing. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Do it all 6.
Go for you. I didn't want to play 1. And I didn't want to be that guy that turns up on the Friday, plays 1, and then just drops. It's fucking... because I've lost.
I'm taking Black Templars, and it's going to be awful. But I'll have fun, I just want to roll dice, and, my list has no duplicated characters in it.
I'm desperate for 11th to be good, because 10th has really killed my love, as you know. Come and play Heresy with me, Sean. It's proper Warhammer. There's blast templates, and armor facings, and fucking...
10th edition is still proper Warhammer.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's not.
It's just, it's like, but it's what the problem is, right?
I've come to realise this is the epiphany I had last night with Toby in the gym, right? Yeah. This is my epiphany, and I'd love to know what you guys think. This is a fucking postcard topic if ever there was one. Yeah. This is my epiphany. Everything I love about Warhammer 40k is basically gone apart from the factions. So you can't get Eldar in Heresy. They don't exist. They're my favourite faction. You don't get them in Heresy, right? So I think I cling to 40k because Eldar is my favourite faction. It's the only place I can play them. But I loved blast templates. I loved the keyword system. I loved armour facings. I loved weapon arcs. I love that shit. It's all gone.
Right. I'm going to be controversial then, good cop, bad cop.
Okay.
I think realistically, by definition, proper Warhammer is whatever Warhammer is at the time. It's just different now.
It's not proper Warhammer anymore.
It's like the proper way to do things are what's determined by the now, right? Because how many times is something, you watch an old film and something happens, right? And in the 90s, early 2000s, how many times you watched a film and be like, couldn't do that now, Be like, it's a different time, isn't it? And that's where you are with Warhammer, right? You just miss being in the days of old.
10th is great for take-all corners and tourneys, but those crazy team-up moments with your mates is gone, correct?
I fully disagree. I fully disagree with that statement. Entirely. Because...
I agree with you, Dave.
I play Black Templars, whichever I have just said is the worst army in the game by the numerical facts of recorded Warhammer, right?
So specifically in tournaments?
So specifically in tournaments, Black
That's
Templars
all we care about nowadays.
are the worst army in the game, right? My tournament army list, which I'm taking 2 events, has no duplicates of characters. I've got every named character. So I have Helbrecht, I have Grimaldus, I have the Emperor's Champion. Nothing gives me greater joy than fucking YOLOing an Emperor's Champion in and having him just clap characters and units. Because he's just doing what he wants to do and what I want him to do, you know? Helbrecht just goes in and just mace someone in the face with a sensor, you know? He's like, I bought you murder, and then bam, right? Kills them with some mortal wounds and then cuts them up, right? Grimaldus is just an angry chaplain. He just runs around being an angry chaplain. I'm having so much fun with Black Templars, playing them the way that, like, they're supposed to play. I think, well, it's like, the problem is that people can't see past the cardboard L-shaped ruins tournament. So,
No, I mean, I think it's also subjective, though, isn't it? So when I say this, when I say I've had my epiphany, this is my subjective opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm not telling everybody they have to agree with me.
But it's also like how you mentally...
Like if you love 10, this is why, to some extent, I think the way that they're building their systems is actually very clever.
Yeah.
Right? Because Kill Team is a very different game to 40k, which is now a very different game to Heresy.
Yeah.
You've got Warcry, which is a very different game to AOS, which is a very different game to Old World.
Yeah.
And I think what they're doing, if I'm honest, and I'm not one who constantly praises Games Workshop, but I think what they're doing is very, very clever.
Yeah.
Because what is good Warhammer is subjective. I think for 40k specifically, if you try to make a game system that pleases everybody all the time, I mean, you can't. It's impossible.
But I also think, like, the way the game is now is a more standardized format, but the standardized format works better for mass player bases. Right, especially when you introduce new people, which Games Workshop wants to do because it enjoys making money. But also, the game itself is becoming bigger, and people are becoming more aware of it because of computer games and television and films.
Yeah, and
so
celebrities.
Introducing new people into a game system where you hand them a chart where everything's based on the mathematical equation of 7. You know, people are like.
Yeah, so and there's bits where I'm like, I don't think we needed that.
Yeah, but I'm also like, I feel like mental headspace plays a big role in it, right? Obviously you've got the channel, you have a family, and you're starting a new business, right? And obviously you're going to the gym, you're working very, very hard. So your time...
He just said that out loud.
Yeah, it's only on the internet. I won't say it in private.
He said that out loud, chat.
So your availability for spare time and hobbies is pretty low, right? So when you're not doing family work stuff, right, you're tired and you cannot be fucked, right? So your approach to the hobby is very different to what it was in 6th edition.
Yeah, but also, why then am I looking at learning a whole new game system, all those things considered?
Of nostalgia. Horus Heresy is Games Workshop's nostalgia drug, right? It is the you play Power Armor, that thing that Toby hates, right? All things are Power Armor all the time, but also like you're playing the rules that are akin to how it was before, not now, where times are different. Right? My approach to 40k is so much more different than Tom and Paddy's. Like, we all go to the same events, we all play the same amount. Paddy wants that tournament win. He wants that GT win. He wants to place high. He's had his 4-1s, he's had his 3-2s. He wants to, he's not won a GT, and that's his goal. So he's playing for what you would target as like the pinnacle of 40k competitive. You know, he is all about millimeters, inches, line of sight. I can see your sword, I can shoot you, because that's how people at high-end tournaments play. Tom's winning tournaments, and he's very, very good at the game. So he's just kind of like, I just want to continue to do good. So he's kind of maintaining. Whereas I've, right, not sound too big-headed, I've won my tournaments, you know? I've done the tournament chase, right? I still enjoy playing the game. I just want to have fun. I want to go and spend time with my friends, but I don't care about winning. So I'm just gonna take the armies that I enjoy playing with. I take an army that's still good because I don't want to get absolutely just fucked up 5 rounds. I just want to have fun, play 5 games, but I don't want to lose bad, right? And that's where I kind of am now. So what I do now with my army lists is I go, what does well, but how do I play the army how it's supposed to be played? You know, how in my head. And I think people, when they look at codexes, they don't see that the codexes are written thematically. You can play the army how you want to play it, but like you have to go to these places, you have to go to these events, and you have to go to your friends' houses with a specific mindset of what you're there to achieve.
Look, I think categorically I'm in the minority. And the reason why I think I'm in the minority is because, let's face it, 40k is a roaring success. 10th edition has been a success.
Yeah, I think anyone, like I've seen it people come into our chat, they're like, 10th edition is the worst edition ever, it's a dead game. And I think you enjoy numbers, right?
I do.
The numbers prove that 40k is not a dead game.
Oh, I don't think it's a dead game.
It's not.
I like I just said, I think it's a roaring success. I think you just have to look at the profits they're turning.
Yeah.
Games Workshop are being very successful currently with what they're doing. Whether that continues, who knows? I hope it does for our sake. But there's no way I think 40k is a dead game. Look at the number of people going to tournaments.
Yeah.
More than ever before.
But like also like Games Workshop's really pushed multiple game systems now because they go.
Which is what I said. I think that's clever.
Yeah. So like 40k might not be for you, but Old World might.
Yeah.
Age of Sigmar might. Heresy might.
I wanted to play 40k. I used to play it years ago. Oh, there's no blast templates or armor basins anymore. How about Horus Heresy?
Yeah. Or I used to play in 2nd edition where it's more of like first, 2nd edition where it's much more a role-playing game. It's like, Necromunda still exists.
Yeah, as does sort of Kill Team as well, which kind of fits. You know?
Like, they've gone, what is your nostalgia level? What is your learning competency? Like, what is your, like, do you want to buy lots of models or are you quite tight on cash? You know? And they're like, we can find a place for you.
10th is not the worst edition. No, well, Dave, I've said this a number of times. In terms of game balance and fairness, it's arguably one of the best editions they've ever made. I don't think I can argue with that. And this is where I need to be clear, because the internet often rages at me when I give a specific opinion. And I'm like, you need to listen to what I'm saying. My opinion on the edition and what I like from my Warhammer is that I miss the more role-play aspects of the game, that I think personally allowed me to tell a different story or a better story on the tabletop because of armor facings, because of weapon arcs, because of blast templates and flamer templates, because of all those things, because of weapon skill and initiative, because of how the AP system works. I think it allowed me to tell a better story the way that I want to tell a story. I'm not saying that makes 40k. I don't want to be one of those heresy players, for example, who goes, 40k is shit, so I've gone to heresy, because I don't agree with 40k being shit. I don't think it's shit. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it misses a bunch of the aspects that I really loved about the game I played years and years and years ago.
Yeah. But it's also like, Paddy, I was talking, like, Paddy is just sends me a bewildering amount of army lists.
Yeah,
I've said it before. Paddy is the worst kind of text messenger because he doesn't send.
And he messages me. Help me finish. Did you do that? Help me finish this list.
And he'll be like, bang, 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 bang. He just shotguns through like 100 messages that could be one long one.
Yeah, help me finish this list is the one I get from him all the time.
I'm trying to play a game while I'm watching telly. But like, he messaged me a couple weeks ago. He was like, I just want to have fun and win games. And I was like, you can have one of those. Not both.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so true.
And that. I think that's a mindset that people can't deal with in modern society.
Yeah,
I want to do good, and I want to have fun.
Doing well at something and succeeding is often hard.
Yeah,
you know, it doesn't matter if it's a sport or a hobby. Yeah. To be at the top of a game is hard work.
But I think in success comes happiness. Right.
Yeah,
and
right,
fun.
exactly.
So, like, it is like, like you're going through physical fitness stuff, right? We're both doing physical fitness. We're both doing exercise is shit.
When I first got back in the gym, I'd agree with you.
Yeah. So like
Now I love it.
right, but that's because you are physically fitter now.
Yes,
right?
agree.
So you have so like no one wants to do exercise. Right? If you
I do now.
right, if you could get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, have breakfast, and that immediately makes you lean and fit, right? Or you could take a drug, right, which we're experiencing now. If you could take a drug and be thinner and fitter and feel better, would you prefer to do that than go to the gym for an hour a day? Because you get an hour of your life back every day. And the answer is yes, right?
If
So
that drug
getting
has zero side effects.
yeah, getting fit is harder than maintaining fitness,
Agree.
right?
Agree. Strong agree.
So in the getting there, it is not fun because in the start you're tired, you're heavier,
It hurts.
you don't have the muscle mass, it hurts. Like just doing the moving that your body's not used to is bad, and you don't have fun doing it. Which, like learning 40k, an example, trying to get good at competitive or 40k or learning to use an army, you lose a lot. You probably don't have fun. It's quite hard.
Yeah.
But once you get good at it, once you are fit, once you have learned how to be good at the game, you then find enjoyment in doing that. And I think that's what people aren't willing to do
Agree.
in life, you know.
They're
not willing to go through the hard bit to then enjoy the state that you get to.
I have often thought about trying to go down the competitive route with 40k and leaning into what they're trying to build, because it seems to be what they're trying to make. Because I think I have the ability, but then I start the journey and you're right, I just can't be asked. I can't be bothered with the hard part. I can't bring myself to just. I want my hobby to be fun for me, and for me, again, remembering that fun's subjective, chat. For me, fun isn't dialing in competitive and crushing everyone and getting to a point where I'm 6-0. That's not fun for me. Fun is a beer across the table, rolling dice, epic moments, silly things happening. That's fun for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those people that find that fun for them is being hyper competitive. All power to them, absolutely. As long as they're enjoying themselves, it's not fucking hurting me.
Yeah.
It just means that I think that the edition now, and I think it's been going this way since we changed from 7th to 8th, has become less and less the game that I originally fell in love with. And we're all going to have that moment, right? I've seen some people in chat already. We all have that like love moment where you really fall in love with the game of Warhammer. For some people, that would have been 2nd edition. Some will be 5. Some will be 7th edition. Some will be 9th edition. Some of them will be 10th edition. And when you fall in love with that edition, that becomes the thing you know. This is the core framework of the thing that I love and the thing that I play. When that core framework really fucking changes, you're like, well, that's not what I loved.
I know Kaz is being sarcastic, but he says, yeah, but Joe, how many people have very loud opinions on the proper way to get fit and slating the way that other people get fit? Well, it's the same for 40k, you know. There are different academies, different ways of learning, but then also, right, that's human beings throughout life, right? Like when you have a kid, when you have a child, or your partner gets pregnant, right? Every person, their dog, will tell you the best way to be a parent, and they'll all be different, right? Like you go to a new place of employment, right, and you'll turn up. Say there's like 100 members of staff. Some people will tell you it's great. Some people will tell you it's shit, and they'll all tell you how to do that job differently. Right? It's just life. You can't get away. But now we have mobile phones and the internet, so people can do it professionally.
Yeah.
And ultimately, they want your money.
Yeah.
Exclamation mark.
Gift.
Right, and they'll tell you how to have fun differently, you know, because it's valuable. They go, don't buy this person's supplements, buy my supplements.
Well, this is
because
why
I've got extra drugs in mind.
This is why I'd like to get to a point where we have a number of heresy armies, and you and I and Toby are well versed in the game of heresy, and we'll keep expanding 40k armies, because what I'd like to do with the channel in the future is continue to offer a variety.
Yeah.
I want to stick to Garage Hammer and Beer Hammer. I do like the fact that every now and again we bring in a tournament Tuesday. I do like the fact that we could then play super narrative heresy stuff.
Yeah.
That appeals to me. But yeah. We are currently on 52 members, chat. If we go for an absolute blitz now, we'll get to 100. I just need a fifth of you, basically, to jump on board and gift us a membership. 1/5 that chucks $4.99 at us, and we'll get to target. Yeah. In the meantime, we've got some more things to get through. Thank you, Narek, for the €5. Our group usually plays 3,000 points. It's more fun for us. You can take the weird stuff you usually never get to play, so I hope they don't raise points.
I like the idea of just playing massive 3K games, because also you could lose 500 points and it doesn't really matter.
I do feel like, and maybe this is just my own little like bubble that I live in, but we have like Incursion, Strike Force, and the other one, whatever it's called. And I feel like the bigger one, the 3,000 point one, we just never see it. I don't know any. This is the first time I've actually heard someone in 40k say they play 3,000 points. Just not used to seeing that at all ever. And we've got all these things that go in Strike Force, you can take 2 of them, and then this one in Onslaught, you can take 3 of them. And I'm like, who plays fucking Onslaught? Apparently, some people do.
Basically, like a lot of the times, I have like people come to my house and we play games, and it's normally tournament practice, right? But I would like to like clear my garage out more, have better tables. But you're able to do a hobby house, you know, right? When hobby house opens, where you can go, let's not go play a tournament game. Let's do a siege, you know.
Yeah.
Let's just bang 3,000 points down and just roll some dice.
Absolutely. It's nice to see 3,000 points. I was talking to Toby last night about Horus Heresy, because I said, what's the standard point size for Horus Heresy now? Is it 2,000, 2,500? It was like 3,000. 3,000 is the current points. But Horus Heresy, things are more expensive. Yeah, Primarchs exist at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of points.
Heresy scales based on the terrain. Like if you're doing Zone Mortalis, I think it's 2,000, 2.5, because like they scale it down to not allow like Primarchs and stuff and super heavies.
Yeah, because the Dragon says it's such a mountain to climb to make a basic 1,000 army for some factions now. They're incredibly off-putting. Yeah, you look at like Admech, for example, putting together 3,000 points is probably not fun. You'd have to take a night, I reckon, for it to be even remotely close to enjoyable to build. But hey, Necromaniac, thank you for the $10. Worst army rule isn't even close. Take mortal wounds, but do something vaguely cool, or once per game, hope your opponent fails some battle shock tests, and hope, if they do, it's on units that matter. It's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking Shadow of the Warp is so bad.
But it's also like...
It's so bad.
The amount of times I've done Shadow in the Warp, and I've had every single one of my opponent's units near one of my units, and I've got a Neuro Tyrant, so everything's fucking -2 leadership, and they've passed every single test.
Yeah.
And you're just like, great.
Yeah.
That's my army roll.
It's fucking brilliant, isn't it?
You know?
It's so Shadow of the Warp is such a cool idea, so poorly fucking executed. Like the concept of it I really like. The concept of it that the hive mind releases a thing that impacts everyone on the planet for a brief moment. I love the concept.
Yeah. But it's like the second half of it now is that if you're in Synapse, you get +1 strength, and you're like,
it's better.
It's better.
Yeah.
Right. But now I'm like +1 strength and AP, +1 like. But I think that, and like if you're within 6 inches of an enemy unit, when you take that leadership test, you're at -1. Great, but that should be just changed to when you're when you're in Synapse range, you are -1 leadership flat.
Yeah,
that's it. Someone mentioned it earlier that the Synapse rule from 9th edition was better, and I 100% agree. It was so good.
Was it the linked one? That
bounced?
So
each Synapse creature had a 6-inch aura. But if it touched another 6-inch aura, you could like chain it, so you could do powers through other units.
I feel like, and this is my problem, right? I feel like some of the issues we have is because I think we've oversimplified. I think simplification wasn't a bad idea. I think simplification to bring new players in was the right move, but I think we've oversimplified some things and gone, that was a bit complicated, get rid of it. And then you had like the original Tau guiding system, which was, and I'm like, again, different people writing different books who clearly had different briefs or different ideas as to how it should work, and the way it used to be, the way that rules used to be constructed, and the way that rules used to be written. It's obviously changed quite a lot now. Like Joe says, there's a new team in place, there's a structure in place, there's a reporting manager chain in place. it logically should be better. But like I said to you guys when Joe went off to the toilet, I was so burnt by the dream that was sold to me pre-10th. And I was spreading that it's going to be fucking great. I've seen it. It's going to be great. And then when it launched, it was a hot fucking mess. And I went, you didn't show me all this shit. And we put out loads of content about how positive 10th we were and how it's a massive improvement and change based on what we were fed with Warcom.
I was surprised they didn't try and tell us a battle pass. You know?
Right, yeah, quite.
Yeah.
Because what Warcom fed us, what I was fed when I went to Fest and got behind the scenes, and then it just kind of didn't really land the way that I thought it was going to land. And when I started to dig into it, when I finally got my hands on the actual rulebook and we had it here in the studio, we were playing games and we were going, how does that fucking work?
Yeah.
So I want to be with the team change. I want to be positive about 11th edition, but I'm going to hold back a little bit because 10th happened.
I think 11th edition is going to be good. But it's my nervousness will come.
Ron Burgundy.
Yeah. My nervousness, I don't know if that's the right word to use, my apprehension is going to come with the mass FAQ 11th edition.
Yeah.
Right. Because what's going to happen is that obviously core rules are going to change. Not all of them, there'll be slight tweaks and things will be changed. I imagine we'll probably get new terrain rules and new terrain like layouts or whatever, like something like that, because change things up, which means that armies will have to have a massive like sidestep in how they function, I think, and like stuff that is shit. Because the problem is that Games Workshop likes to make stuff that's good bad, stuff that's bad good in new editions. I find stuff gets punished for how good it was. It happens naturally because they want you to buy new stuff. Like, you're a Dark Angels player, you've bought all the Deathwing Knights now. Deathwing Knights probably become slightly less good, something else becomes better because they want you to buy something new.
Oh, hey, we just released all these new Ravenwing bikes and they're now really fucking good.
Right, so my apprehension is going to come with that because, like, I've experienced it before with Chaos Space Marines when all the stuff that I really, really enjoyed just became immediately bad, and Chaos Space Marines are just a tank army now. And it's so, like, I'm like, what's happening next? But that's the fear of the unknown, ultimately. But I do think, having met and talked to rules writers that exist now, like, in the different game systems, I do think Games Workshop probably has its best rules writers for a long time.
Yeah, it sounds. I agree.
Our experience with the Age of Sigmar team, mind blowing.
Yeah,
what they know, and obviously talking to the 40k team that they have now, they're on a similar, the same kind of level. I think.
Yeah, the AOS team were tuned. They were good.
Just explain for the things that like Flawless Blades. So 6 months ago, Emperor's Children came out.
Yeah,
right. You got to think about when was that book written, right? Because you got to think so
a year before.
Yeah, so in concept, you come up with the idea. You work for Games Workshop. You have an idea. We're going to release an army. We're going to do Emperor's Children, right? Right. You have to think about what units are going to be in that army. For good or ill. What are they going to look like? How are they going to function on the table? The concept of writing that book, just to figure out what stuff in it's going to do, might take 6 months to a year. And then, they have to finalize it. And then they have to go, well, we need to make these. But we need to make 50,000, right? Insert number, right, to sell across the planet. So that's going to take 6 months to a year, to get that designed, the molds made, get it all printed, and then you have to get it packaged, and then you have to distribute it around the world, right? And then you have to get them to the shop. So the time it takes from concept to release is 2-3 years, right? Like stuff that's come out this edition might have been designed in 8th edition. So the people that are in charge now are not responsible for the stuff that's kind of coming out now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, and then they get the joys of trying to fix it as well.
Yeah. And then they get the joys of trying to fix it, but they get the joys of taking all the abuse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All the fucking abuse.
Yeah. You know, the person that designed the rules for Flawless Blades, right?
Probably isn't part of the team.
They're probably they might work in they might be a pot wash now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, he's the new Bugmans. Okay, we've got a quick fire hope session to go through, Joe. Right, Tank the Unknowing. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships.
Now, I hope that you get a pet iguana that sits on your shoulder and tells you whether you are morally right or wrong on a daily basis.
We do have 59 members right now, chat, so it's screaming for just 10 more. Stick Monkey did do this earlier. Thank you for 10 gifted memberships.
Thank you.
Love you, Sean.
Thank you, John. I hope that you get a monkey that lives in your house and helps you do all your jobs, but they're clean and don't put poo everywhere.
That'd be nice. I like that. Thank you, Chris Wilcox, for the 5 gifted memberships. Did I say that right? Yeah, Wilcox.
Yep.
For the 5 gifted memberships.
I hope that you get. I hope you live and you work and all your family and friends are all relatively close to you, that you can ride a golf buggy to their house. You always see those like American films where people just ride golf buggies everywhere. And I'm like, that looks like fun.
I've seen that.
But Subaru says, to be fair, they also get credit when we love things. And I'm like, yeah, you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, well, that's part of the gig, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Evan, for the 1 gifted. Thank you, Luke Piewalker. I love that name. For 5 gifted memberships.
I hope, Luke Piewalker, that you get defense turrets around your house that fire different lethal and non-lethal rounds.
Beautiful. Thank you, Buckshot, for another 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Buckshot.
Joe comes in for 5 more.
I hope that you get your very own Knight Rider car.
Okay.
Kit, yeah.
Fair enough. Strong. Thank you, Scott Stapely, for the 1 gifted membership. Thank you, Baldrick and Cry Kinesi, for the 1 gifted. Thank you, Mindset, for the 1 gifted. Thank you, Deeks, for the $5. He says, do you think the way to make Horus Heresy its own game was to make 40k much more different? Yeah. I think it makes sense to. I think if both games are exactly the same. So Horus Heresy used to suffer from basically being the same as 40k, but all resin and expensive. Okay. But so I don't think it's just rules that they had to change. I think for Horus Heresy to have any kind of success, I think they had to differentiate the rule sets.
Yeah.
And I think they had to then change the range to plastic, which they're doing.
But also I think Horus Heresy during 7th edition, most specifically, Horus Heresy was the refuge of the despondent 40k player as well. People like the game. They like the rule set. Like you said, you really like 7th edition rules. They like the rule set, but they don't like the place that the game is in. I left 40k in 7th edition to play Horus Heresy because I hated the game and what it had become, where you've got Space Marine armies that have 1,000 points of transport.
And I agree with this, by the
way. So what you found was a lot of people loved the game of 40k, but didn't like where it was, but they loved the setting of the universe. So they went to Horus Heresy because it's the same game, but it's just all Space Marines and all things that you like with great characters. So when 8th edition dropped, when 40k changed to the rule set we have now, 8th to 10th, they had a choice to make. Do we move Horus Heresy to the new rule set, or do we keep it the same? And I think they made the right choice of keeping it as it was, because Horus Heresy became this refuge of people that weren't happy with the way things were. And I think it stuck the same.
Yeah, I am a little apprehensive because I don't want to go into the Heresy setting, for example, and just be swarmed with people that want me to tell them how shit I also think 40k is, because I don't think it's shit. I don't think it's shit at all. I categorically don't think it's shit. I just don't think it's...
You get that in every game system.
No, I know.
When I play Age of Sigmar, people shit on 40k. You know,
it's
people that play 40k shit on
It's weird, isn't it? Because it's the world that we live in where it is, oh, I can't believe you've got an Apple phone. I can't believe you bought an Xbox. You're like, fucking hell. bought the one I liked. Jesus Christ! Why can't I just like the one I like and you like the one you like, and we can just carry on about our days?
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't. I don't know why I get the one that I get, and then you have to tell me why your one's better than the one that I picked.
Super Eddie says that sounds especially like a car with AI. That's what it was. It wasn't a human brain in there.
Thank you, Nick, for the $5. I think you should go super narrative and take a battle shock test when you lose a game. Desperate escaping if you lose. Who could teach me that?
Take a battle shock test when you lose a game. What, you just you do a shot and then get punched in the stomach.
Yeah.
You get trapped in a box.
Thank you for the $5, Nick. Love you. Deeks, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you. I hope that you get to have a weekend away at Warhammer World with you and your mates and just be on the beers.
That's really nice for Deeks, actually. Yeah. And you can turn off husband stalker so she doesn't know who you are.
Yeah. You don't have to have a phone. Just no communication with the outside world.
We are closing in on the end of the show, chat. We are 5 away from 69. Are we too grown up for that, or is that still funny to us?
69 is still funny.
Okay, good. Right, I thought so. You didn't say anything.
I was reading chat at the time.
Right. Okay, good. Perfect. Prentice, thank you for the $10. He says, catching up. By the way, Goonhammer have their data from the TT Battle app, so not all tournament data. Black Templars have a 48.5% win rate above Tau, Thousand Suns, Space Wolves, Orcs, Guards, Space Marines, Imperial Knights, Grey Knights, Imperial Agents, and Chaos Space Marines, who are bottom. Having that data from the Battle app is very interesting, isn't it? If everyone logs on the Battle app and that's where they get their data from, even if they're not playing in a tournament, that's probably better data overall because it includes more people that aren't necessarily tournament goers. Because if that's the case, you could play Tom downstairs, or even up tonight, you could log every game on stream on that app, and that would feed the data.
So,
right?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting.
So I've had a discussion with someone, I'm not going to say who, that I don't agree with receiving data from friendly games at your house.
Okay.
Because
I'm interested.
It
skews it because you do stupid shit?
It's going to be accurate or it's going to have stupid shit. So if you play at an event, whether it's narrative or competitive, it is set within a strict rules boundary, which is ruled over by a tournament organizer, an event at a TO.
Okay.
Right? There's going to be a rules pack, and you're all playing the same missions under the same settings. So there is a relative level of balance within the situation, right? When you play at home, your games will be longer. You might get the rules wrong. There's no one there to make sure you're doing it right. You might be playing house rules. Like you might be playing on different terrain to everyone else. So when you have these situations where people can give information from their house, it could also have a personal bias as well, right? Right. I'm not saying you would, Pridders, right? But you love Tau.
He does love Tau.
And you want Tau to get better.
So you could log 10,000 games where you lose. I knew where you were going.
Yeah, so that's the only way your army gets better if it's doing bad. So what happens is you might get people that aren't playing games that are then giving data because there's no one there to watch you do it. And that's why I don't like the concept of home-fed data.
Which I fully agree with from a logical data perspective. I'm just thinking about how we could gather data from what is the everyman.
So my what I want to see happen is you get rid of the battle apps, you get rid of all battle recording apps that currently exist, and it's all fed through the 40k app.
Yeah.
Right? And then Games Workshop obviously because currently what they do for the ITC is they're the ones in charge of handing out tickets to formalized tournaments, right?
Tokens,
right? So they can search the data through their own app.
Yeah. You have to
with their own strict settings.
Currently, you have to submit for a token for your tournament to get approved to submit data to the ITC.
Yeah, so when Games Workshop do their search for their data and their information, and they can have the win rates, they can go, we will only search token approved events. We don't have to look at home data. They can look at home data if they want to. They have that choice, but there is official data and non-official data that they can search for a pool of. When you're receiving data from, like they are now, and people like Goonhammer and StatCheck and all that, they receive their data from multiple different sources, and which are recorded in different ways. And I think it gives the wrong point. Much to my point of half the planet is playing Games Workshop terrain, and some of the planet is playing.
And the thing is, we
WTC.
when we're always complaining about balance, bad data in will mean bad data out. That's just a basic data fact. Brian Garrett, thank you for one gifted. Mallycat, thank you for one gifted. And Harborn, Mr. Vortex comes in for 5 more. He clearly was hoping that we would get it to 69, was prepared to put half the effort in, so he gifted 5 more memberships, Jay. We're on 64 right now. That's one less than it should be on the screen. 64.
Thank you, Hardball Games. I hope that every time you go shopping for groceries for a 2-month period, someone else pays for it.
Jesus, I love it.
Yeah.
There you go. We caught up. We caught up with chat.
Oh yeah, I think
I need to stop saying that the Liam and Joe show is 90 minutes because we always do 2 hours.
we just overshoot every time.
I just like chatting Warhammer with you, Joe.
I think to the terms of points and data, I think like Games Workshop's heading in the right direction. Luke Pywalker, 69.
Thank you for the 5 gifted membership.
I hope, Luke Pywalker, that you can demand a 69 at any time.
Yeah.
And you get it. No matter where you are.
Yeah.
Whoever you're with.
Oh.
Just like 69. And it happens. And you get Big Dog in the house. Who? You know. I listen to 2 podcasts now. I'm elevated from the one podcast.
So it's not just Finn versus History anymore.
No, Finn versus. My other one is it's called What Do You Want to Talk About? It's hosted by Cody Rhodes, the wrestler.
Okay.
And
I don't know who that is.
He is the American Nightmare. And I love that he is for a wrestler, actor, podcaster. He's very good. I think he's like one of my favorite people on the planet. And but they're sponsored by a American whiskey brand, right? So at the start of the thing, they've both got a drink that's made from like a mix of like they've got their own kind of drinks made up, and they just drinking this whiskey, you know. And there's vodka they have as well. So there's the vodka they have, so they're just drinking the whole way through, just getting a bit loose.
Sounds amazing.
But Cody Rhodes is a big fan of going the who. Does a little bark every once in a while.
Oh,
but he is. I think you'd enjoy watching it. It's very funny, yeah.
Quite bro-y.
Very bro. Well, it's him interviewing wrestlers.
Sounds great.
Throughout the years. That's I think all podcasts should be done like.
Is
that.
it on YouTube's?
Yeah.
Is it visual?
It's free. You could listen to it, and it's just 2 people sat down drinking, talking.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Love it.
Great.
Right, you people have been amazing. We have got to 69 members. We are 31 short of where I would have loved us to be, but it's fine because obviously Joe will come on screen tonight in front of you all and say for 200 members he'll paint someone a character that Liam will draw tomorrow on the After Dark show, and you'll do it again.
We struggled to get there. We did struggle to get there, to get to the 200.
Well,
so part of me is like, would people prefer it if I proposed a model?
Well, so
and then we gave that model away?
Maybe you just struggled to get there a little bit because Ginger Steve came in and gifted 110.
I mean,
he carried
we
the show.
would never have got there. You know?
Yeah.
You know?
Who would watch 2 people talking on the internet? I love that. That's my favourite kind of content.
Yeah.
I get the sarcasm, Sean. I'm with you. It's my favourite kind of content.
But Finn versus History is the best podcast because they don't care.
I love that show.
There is a filter that is removed that I often wish that we didn't have on. But we'd also get cancelled.
I love that show.
The day I want to leave this channel, you'll know.
Please give me a heads up.
No. Yeah. The filter. Thank you, Sean.
Sean, you beautiful fucking human.
Yeah.
Thank you for 10 gifted another 10 gifted memberships, putting him on 20, Joe. There's got to be a good hope for Sean at 20.
I hope, Sean, that
79. 21 away.
You develop anti-grav technology and copyright it.
He'd be rich as fuck.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. And I can't remember what I was going to talk about then. No, basically, would people prefer it if I proposed the model that I'd build? So, like, if I said, if we get 200, I will, when it's released, build and paint you Huron.
Yeah, that's
right.
Ask them tonight.
Is that better? Well, we'll talk about that tonight.
Yeah, ask them tonight.
Yeah.
It's up to you. I don't mind. Like, if to get to 200 members, you're giving away up to 50 quid worth of stuff that I have to pay for, I'm kind of okay with it.
Because I'm kind of like I like the idea of saying pick a model on our pay, because I think that's more personal to the person that receives it.
Yeah, you can have it for your army.
Because like say I say, oh, I'll build and paint you a Huron. You know, only I don't know 10% of the people watching would actually want it.
What I really want to do. Here's what I really want to do. Right. Because based on what you've started last week, and I was looking online for these, is I want a giant spinny wheel from like we've got and then I want to break it into sections, and we'll find almost all of the sub 40 quid models.
Yeah.
We'll write them all in, and then when we get to 200, we'll go and that's the one you do.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool as shit.
and we could change it. Like,
You could rub names out, put new names on.
Yeah.
I might invest in a spinny wheel and do that. That could be loads of fun.
Yeah.
So, well done, Stick Monkey. You've won.
A glass dildo. You should have like a mystery one in there. Not
A
one.
mystery prize, yeah. Absolutely. 100%. I think that'd be cool. I might do that. I might see if I can find one of those wheels. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. If you have enjoyed the show, please make sure you smash that like button before you disappear. Although at the moment, we're also on 169 likes. Wee. So thank you, wonderful human beings, for hanging out. You are amazing. Thank you for all the gifteds. Big shout out to Stick Monkey for gifting 20. That's amazing. You're incredible. We are live again tonight at 7:30. You have got Chaos Space Marines, predominantly Iron Warriors, versus Adeptus Sororitas, the Sisters of Battle. Paddy's brand new paint. I say he painted it for me. I can't get my head around it at the moment. So you get to look out for that one tonight. Tom's on the deck for you wonderful human beings. And tomorrow at 9 o'clock I'll be back with After Dark to try and close out the week and not cry. That'd be great. And maybe a drink or 7. Yeah. So there you go. That's the rest of your week in Warhammer on the channel. You are all amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we'll see you tonight at 7:30. If not, we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you, Raider.
We're on 80. Thank
80.
You, Thank you, Rainer. We're on 80. You're a legend. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye, wonderful time.